Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer House with First Step Nutrition. This is take 2. Apparently the horizontal flip didn't work on my last video and I ended up sideways, so apologize if you're seeing this twice. But I wanted to come to you today and have a discussion about a common question, and I'm getting this question more and more as my son gets older. My eldest is almost 10 now. So a lot of his friends, both boys and girls, are in that stage where they're pre-puberty, so a lot of them are maybe putting on a little bit of weight before they go through that growth spurt and sprout up. So the parents are concerned, mums are wondering, is my child going to get teased for weighing more than their friends? Is this going to be a lifelong issue for them, and what should I do about it? Specifically, they're wondering if they should maybe restrict the type of foods or the amount of foods that their child eats. And this discussion also relates to an article that I shared on my Facebook page a couple weeks ago. It got a lot of discussion, so thanks to everybody for contributing to that. But the article was posted in a newspaper in the UK, and a medical doctor was basically saying that we should enforce a no seconds policy at dinner because some children are not able to regulate their appetite and they overeat. So I agree that some children are unable to regulate their appetite, but that is not because they haven't had a no seconds rule at home. It's more likely because they actually have been restricted. Because what happens when we restrict how much our child eats is they basically become a binge eater. So if your child is still hungry for more dinner and you say, no, you've had enough, no more dinner. The next day they go to a birthday party or they're at school and they have the ability to eat as much as they want in that situation, that's what they're going to do. And these situations become more and more prevalent as your child gets older. They get to choose how much they want to eat more and more often. And if they're restricted at home, they'll just binge at those other opportunities because they can't trust that they can eat as much as they want at home with these restrictions around amount of food. And so this restricting it just leads to binge eating and cravings and guilt and shame around food. So a very, very negative relationship with food that can affect the child's weight, emotional health, and relationship with food for the rest of their life. And another thing too is we don't want any shame around body size. Bodies come in all shapes and sizes. It's not always related to how much you or your child eats. A lot of that is genetics. So we need to listen to our child's appetite, allow them to listen to their appetite, and grow up to have the body that genetics has predetermined them to have. And speaking of their appetites, they absolutely vary widely. And we can't be the one to know that maybe our child is going through a growth spurt and needs 3 portions of dinner tonight. We need to allow them to make that decision and have that control. So I teach and follow Ellen Satter and her division of responsibility in feeding. This is one of Ellen's books, Secrets of Feeding a Healthy Family. She also has a great website. And whether you have a picky child, you don't think they eat enough, or you have a child you think maybe weighs too much or overeats, this concept works beautifully for all children to establish that healthy relationship with food. So essentially, you do have certain rules, you do have certain limits around eating, and you control where the child eats. So most often at the table with the family, you control when the child eats. So we want to have the more structured meals and snack times. And one thing this prevents is your child just going to the pantry all day long because they're bored or because they're sad or other things. And then another thing that the parent is supposed to retain control of is what the child is offered to eat. I'm not going to get a whole lot into the what. It's certainly fine and good to have all sorts of foods in your house and some treats too, so those don't become forbidden foods. But we don't want to become the shorter to cook either. Well, the child says, I don't like this, make me something else. So of the food you've provided for them to eat, their role is to choose how much to eat. Whether it's 2 bites, whether it's 3 portions, we remain neutral in that. We don't provide pressure in either direction. And this allows your child to grow up with a healthy relationship with food and the body that genetics has determined for them. So I'd love if you would comment or share below if you have any experience in this. Maybe it's personally growing up you were restricted and what that's led to today, or if you have any challenges or struggles or how you've dealt with this with your own children as well. Thanks for watching.